Today is a very special day. We sit down with two generations of the Kelner family, Mr. Hendrik Kelner Sr. and Mr. Hendrik Kelner Jr., to discuss a very special cigar they made in memory of Jopito Kelner. Jopito's son, who is the cousin of the Kellners, has made this cigar with them and with another master blender in honor of his father. It will be the first cigar that we release in the Privada Experience series. I am so proud, so honored, and I'm just so in awe of what you have all created here and what we're able to do. I would have never imagined sitting down with this caliber of people this soon 4 years ago. So thank you all very much. Please enjoy this, and please know that these cigars will be available in Privada Experience, trademark, coming out soon. Peace. All right, so I won't keep you guys long here, but first I want to say what an honor it is to have such legacy involved in this project. Mr. Kelner Senior, thank you for all of the work that you've given us through the years. You've brought so much joy to our lives. With the fine tobacco that you've grown. It's been absolutely amazing being able to smoke some of that, so I do want to say thank you for that. For Hendrik Jr., we appreciate everything that you're doing with the club, with all the other brands that you work with. You're allowing us to be a part of that lineage, to be a part of those cigars. In other words, there are some people that the craft, it just dies with. And with you, it's almost like we have a cheat code to have, you know, a similar product or just a similar style, you know, to be able to smoke these things and know that this is how it was done then and this is still being done now. And so that's pretty amazing that we have you in this industry. So I want to thank you for that as well. Johan, this is about your father, right?
Yes. Yeah.
This is about Jopito. So I guess there's a reason why the three of you are sitting here right now. It's such an amazing thing to have all of you here. And the reason is this man, Jopito. What can you tell me about your father?
Well, my Jopito is his name. His name was J.O. Joe. But for some reason everybody called him Jopito. And he was, for me, he was an extraordinary man, and he had a lot of talents. He loved to make people happy, and like once Tio Henki said, he lived the 11th commandment, and it was be happy and make others happy. You know, that he loved tobacco, he loved cigars, and he loved that world. That's where he was born, and he loved you know, dancing, he loved cooking, he loved life, and it was such an amazing person, and a person that everybody loved. It was amazing living it, you know, saying that you were his son. It was already, or it was an honor, and it was very hard to live up to that because everybody just loved him. Mm-hmm.
Wow. So you didn't jump right into tobacco in your life. In fact, your father passed when? How long has he been gone now?
Well, it's 11 years now. 11 years now.
And so you're just kind of picking this up, maybe in memory of him?
Yes, totally. I was not in the tobacco business for various reasons, and definitely this is a project for him, and the reason I want to be connected to him, and this is cigars. I think it's a good way to be connected in tobacco. I'm gonna eventually, hopefully, I'll start growing some too.
Wow. So, okay, so let's talk about the cigars. One of the cigars that we're going to talk about is the Robusto, and that was made by, that's this cigar that I have right here. This was made by Hendrik Jr., correct?
Correct.
Yes, that is correct. So if I may something here. So when Johannes approached me, and this is my cousin, one of my very few cousins in this world, and very extremely nice guy. When he approached me with a cigar for, actually anybody who approaches me now for cigar, I tell them forget it. I cannot do it. I'm so busy, as you very well know, and so in back order that everybody I tell them, next year maybe. But when Johannes approached me for a cigar for his father, for Don Jopito, Tio Jopito, of course I had to say yes. And of course I did all my efforts to do something really special for him, but also something that reminded us of him. Like he would love to smoke African Cameroon tobacco, so of course we had to put in, but we put it in the filler, some Cameroon tobacco, and we just made a cigar that reminds us, resembles his style, his personality. He was an unbelievable man. Like, they don't make them like that anymore. And my father will tell you a lot about him, but he was a yes man. He would always be positive, the best host you can ever imagine, a super, somebody that I, as a kid I worshiped, and also very popular and very liked man. So when he approached to me, can we do a cigar for him? Of course, we will do the best we can, and we're happy with the result. Not only a very good cigar, but something that reminds us of him. So I was very honored and proud to be part of this project, and I thank you for supporting us on that end. So I know you can do very well with that cigar, and send it to the right people. So we're very, very, very happy that we could do this.
I have no choice. I have no choice but to support legends. Okay, this is a legacy family for this business, and this is a name that I'd love to see continue with such royalty in its air. So I want to ask you, Hendrik, real quickly. There's about 30% Piloto Cubano in this blend. What does the Piloto, for those of us at home that don't blend cigars, what does that bring to the sensations, to the flavors? What does that bring to the table?
You're talking about the filler. Well, the Piloto, and my dad could tell you more about this, is a seed that came from Cuba in the 1960s and adapted to the weather in Dominican. And it's a straightforward punch all the way to the back with a positive tobacco bitter notes. And it's one of the tobaccos that are involved in his blend for Jopito. Combined with other tobaccos, you get a nice balanced cigar. And when I thought of Jopito, I thought, something very traditional, plus some Dominican tobacco from my sister, and that Piloto, and of course the Cameroon. So that's how we work the blend for Jopito.
Yeah.
Okay, and the Cameroon, to say that they bring some heat to the blend.
Sorry, say that again. It brings what?
The Cameroon, does it bring this with cigar blend?
Sweetness.
The Cameroon brings a certain taste that is very unique. It's a little bit bright taste. And I had those bales of Cameroon for years in my warehouse, like years. I bought it because I thought it was interesting, and I never used them, never. So when Johannes said, a cigar for my dad, I said, Cameroon, I have it. Finally, I'm going to use it. And it's a very different tobacco. And I think it works very well in the cigar as a balance.
Is there some a broadleaf or a Connecticut in this cigar at all?
If I like to use in my blends as a filler because it has a certain creamy chocolate note, and it also balances out the edges of other tobaccos. It's not super powerful, but it adds body. It adds like the coating effect. How do you say it? Soften the edges of other tobaccos, and it makes it more smokable with a sweet chocolate note that I like in many of my blends, and I like to use them. Especially when I use Piloto and a weird tobacco like Cameroon, it helps me round up the blend.
Wonderful. Now I can't help but see you're sitting next to your father, who is, we all know who he is. He's smoking the cigar. Can you ask him in Spanish for me how he feels about the cigar?
Okay, here we go.
Okay, you know, Hendrik, my son, is the master blender.
All I know is like 10% of what he knows.
But I'm very happy with the cigars, the good balance, very good balance. All the stimulation area are stimulated, and more or less, no some area is more than other. It's a good balance there. But I am more happy for Johannes. Is interesting in the cigar business too, because that is the issue of my family. All my family, my father, the father of Jopito, and two other brothers come to Holland, two for Dominican Republic, another two to Brazil, work in tobacco. All his sons work in tobacco too, and finally everybody work in tobacco.
I love it.
I say sometimes I say my family is no, I don't say everybody made the same.
Not very creative.
It's not too creative. Everybody made the same. Now I have 6 sons, son and daughter, no, and 5 work in tobacco. Only one not work in tobacco because he studied in the university in the USA. He's only 20 years old. But that is the traditional, and I'm happy because Jopito, his father of Johannes, he supported too much me when in the beginning. When I decided to make my small factory, Jopito was in charge to supply the tobacco. And that time, Jopito have control of 50% of the crop in Dominican Republic. And they support not only the tobacco, his experience, and they help to make, to receive people, and because Jopito was a gentleman, everybody liked Jopito. And that was very important. I never forget.
Well, I believe that, like the man himself, everyone's going to love this cigar. So I thank you for that. And I also think that it's so amazing that we're able to talk about this cigar, Mr. Kelner, and break down all of the tobaccos in it, and more than 70% or 60% of the tobacco, you know the people who grew it. Not only do you know them, but you're related to them. It's just such an astonishing, amazing thing to be a part of that. And that's what makes the Kelner family so special in this industry. And that's what makes this Jopito cigar so unique. And I'm just proud that you gave me the opportunity to be involved with this program.
Thank
so,
you.
Thank you, Johan. I will be taking this into what we call Privada Experience. Privada Experience is going to be a new way, a more culinary approach to cigars. It'll be the first program where we break down the tasting notes visually so that people can see actual flavors while they're smoking. It's going to be a really cool experience, and it's going to tell the story of your father, Johan. So I want to just thank you guys all for making these time for us today, and I hope that we get the honor of working with you all in the future.
Thank you.
And thank you for supporting such a unique project and such a unique cigar, because it is a different cigar. It's not like when you're blending, sometimes you just want to make the best cigar in the world, but sometimes you want to do the best you can, but using some cigars that bring you some history, some nostalgia, some truth to it. And of course, that's why we had to put the Cameroon in there, which I normally probably wouldn't. But to remind me that cigar of the man, of Jopito, we had to put it in. And I think it worked fine.
Yeah.
Brian, I want to show you a picture that I have here that I from 1993. Let's see if you can see it. Do you see it there?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's me with a blue shirt when I was 19 years old, with all my health and all my hair and all my lungs. And then next to me is my dad, Zino Davidoff.
Wow.
Of course, that was in 1993, with the first time he came. And then Dr. Schneider. And then that's Jopito there. That's the man on the other side. That's Jopito Kelner.
Wow.
And I was lucky enough to meet those guys and spend a lot of time with Jopito. So yeah, this is one of the pictures that I treasure, that I have here in my office. So 1993, yeah, I was just a freshman in college. And
When you come down, we're gonna take you to the ground zero for us three, which is Jacagua.
Yeah, the farm.
The farm, and I still own a piece of land where a lot of the fiestas were made, and you know, and the tobacco was grown, and a lot of the tobacco, that area, the Cibao Valley, that
Wow.
it was. So we'll hopefully when you come down in April, we'll have that opportunity.
Okay, wonderful. I can't wait. I'm excited. And these stories need to be told, so keep telling me them so I can repeat them to everyone, and they'll all remember this for another generation or two.
Thank you.
For sure. And we thank you for your support in this project, right?
It's my absolute pleasure, Hendrik. Thank you to the whole Kelner family. Thank you, Johan.
You just need to help me convince Hendrik to make more cigars now.
Oh yeah, now he comes. So I need more cigars. I go, oh my goodness.
This is what makes him so special.
But you know, for me, the most important that I smoke the Jopito cigars is because it's an opportunity to communicate with Jopito through the smoke. And I say always, Jopito, you are present here. I remember all the years, the time that we have together. The Jopito, you are present.
Thank you.
For sure.
Wow.
For
For sure.
That's really cool. Thank you for sharing that with us. I hope that this represents you guys well. I'm going to let you go. I know you have busy days, and I hope you enjoy your morning, and we'll speak soon, okay?
All right, Brian. Thank you.
It's my pleasure. Thank you. Okay, guys.
Thank you.
All right, bye. Bye-bye. Wow. What an honor. I mean, it's that's really cool. It's really cool that we're here, man. It's been 4 years of digging through and trying to honor tradition. Of course, we do things in a new way too. You know, we brought new art to the table. That was, something that we did. Some people loved it, some people hated it. But in the end, we're here to honor tradition, and we're here to honor the people that came before us that learned these things that they passed down. How to farm, how to grow, how to cure, how to ferment, how to blend, all of these things. And we're now at a part where we can take their knowledge, we can add science to that, and then we can also add global shipping to create these, multi-continental blends from, the best of the best of the best. So our work here isn't done. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty of the actual people who make these products, and that's the most important part. We're getting on a more culinary craft level with this stuff, in tasting, in understanding what's unique, what's different, who does what best. And we're also allowing it to bring us together as a community. And I honestly think that we're smoking the best cigars that were ever made, and we're very, very, very lucky to be a part of this time, and especially at a time where it can all be taken away from us rather quickly. So, hashtag we are Privada. Thank you so much. Rest in peace, Jopito. We will remember you through this cigar.